Hey, everybody, welcome to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mike Catalano with you. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas holidays, your time now to get a little relaxation, be with family, whatever you get to do. If you got to work, if you're in Buffalo and you're still digging out, man, I feel for you. I hope everybody stays as safe as possible and can get back on the roads, get to do all the things you need to do that you haven't been able to do because of the weather. The week starts, and it's a huge one for the Bills coming up. Honestly, this is one of the biggest regular season games over this Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane, Josh Allen period of time. In the past, they've had big games to get in the playoffs, like the game against Miami. That was before Josh. When they ended up getting help and getting in and breaking the drought. And they've had big games like the one a year ago when they went to Foxborough and won and basically took the division back. So we know they've had big ones, but I think this game with the Bengals coming up is just massive. There's three teams that have separated themselves in the AFC, and we know that's the Bills, that's Kansas City, and that is Cincinnati. We'll talk about them in a minute. I want to talk about the AFC East. And it wasn't that long ago, big concerns. The Bills had lost to the Dolphins. They had lost to the Jets, and they were playing New England. And you're like, okay, where are they going to go here? And look what's happened. The Bills, while they've had struggles, no doubt about it, have won 6 in a row. And the division has combined for 10 losses. 10. Now, it's not in a row, but 2 by the Patriots, 2 by the Jets, and 4 by the Dolphins. And the Bills have clinched. Now, we always thought the Bills were the best team. I shouldn't say we always thought. I think most of you did. And we certainly did here on Buffalo Plus think the Bills were the best team in the division, but they were getting challenged. And it was by Miami. And then it was by the Jets who knocked them off. And you always had that feeling. You never knew what New England was going to do. Well, New England has shown who they are with the way they lost the game, the crazy one to Vegas, and then the way they ended up coming back against the Bengals and couldn't pull it out. The Jets, I mean, in large part, it's the quarterback, obviously. If Mike White was playing, I think they would be better and still could be a challenger and still a team the Bills could see in the playoffs. But Miami is really something to see. Boy, they took it on the chin when they lost to San Francisco and the Chargers. I thought of this whole stretch, the best game certainly that they played was the one against the Bills. And then you see them on Sunday jump out to that lead, that lethal speed they have with both Hill and Waddle, and then Tua. And this is not a place where I go after Tua nonstop. I think he is a good football player. I think he's been good for the Dolphins. But boy, in these big spots, in these big moments, again, I'll say the best game he played was the one against the Bills, because otherwise it's been bad. Then he got off to a great start and then just threw 3 consecutive picks in the second half. And I see the way teams have adjusted to him. He likes to throw with anticipation, and he does. But I think he's having a tougher time when teams see him a little bit more, looking off safeties, looking off corners, and trying to throw to spots, and they're just waiting on him, and they're picking off passes. So the Dolphins are in trouble. It's amazing where they were a little while ago, and they need help to make the playoffs, if you think about it. Well, they can win out and get in there, but they may need help. The Jets are still alive. Baltimore is in. So when you look at how it goes, it's kind of interesting that this is where I want to get into what's at stake. And you know this, but what's at stake with that Bengals in multiple ways. First of all, if the Bills win the game, then obviously they come home for New England, win that one. They're the 1 seed. And it's never going to be easy, but it's a lot easier. You get a week off. You get then a home game. And pick the team they could be playing, right? Because they're going to play. If you finish 1, you're going to be playing the lowest seeded team or highest seeded, depending on how you want to do the numbers. It could be Miami. It could be the Jets. It could be the Chargers. You just name any of those. The only 2 teams it cannot be are the teams that are 2 and 3 if you're 1, because either they lose or they're going to end up playing each other, because 1 advances. If 2 and 3 win, they're going to play each other, and the Bills play whoever's left. So 2 and 3 is going to be the team that doesn't finish in the 1 spot right now. So it's going to be, well, I take that back. It could be the Ravens, right? If the Ravens went out and beat the Bengals that last game, I think the Ravens would win the division and be the 3 seed. But it's more likely that it's going to be the Bengals, right, when you look at it. So if you finish 1, you're the Bills. you get a home playoff game, you get a bye, then you get a home playoff game against one of the teams that could be 4, 5, 6, or 7 when the playoffs start. And then you get the winner of that other game. So if you finish 2 or 3, you're going to have to go through both teams, right? If you finish 2 or 3, you're going to play the other one. If you're 2, you're going to be at home. If you're 3, you're going to be on the road. And then you go on the road in all likelihood to the 1 seed. So if you're the Bills, you're sitting back going, okay, we win our first playoff game. We wait. Who wins? Kansas City and Cincinnati. And you're home for that game to go to the Super Bowl. So while you look at it, Kansas City was in that spot last year. Cincinnati was the one at 3. And, they win. The Bills get beat. Cincinnati ends up going to Kansas City and winning in the AFC title game and, wins on the road in the playoffs. So, they were, that's right. They weren't even the 3 seed. They were a lower seed. So they end up winning and going in and going to the Super Bowl. So certainly in any way it can be done. You got to be able to win on the road. But we've seen, what's happened. And the Bills would love to be the 1 seed. And they put themselves in that spot. There's issues. It's funny. Josh Allen came off Player of the Week playing against the Dolphins, which he's done 4 times. And he did not play a great game at all against the Bears. I think the weather was a factor. I think the wind got to him. He mentioned that a few times. I think he made some bad decisions. They did get the running game going. I think they're going to need that in spots against Cincinnati. But it's funny how we see the Bills. We see every moment, every snap. And to be critical, you can be critical of the team when you see certain things they're doing wrong. Look at the Chiefs, and they're winning. Mahomes has still been really good, but he had 3 interceptions a few weeks ago. I mean, they had Denver, who's awful, dead to rights, let them back in the game. They nearly lost to the Texans, and they pretty much handled Seattle to win their last one. Cincinnati's been really good. They were blowing out New England. New England couldn't even get past midfield. And then all of a sudden, they're defending the Patriots on 1st and goal with a chance to be behind late in that game, and New England fumbles the ball. So that's the NFL, man. It doesn't matter who it is, at what period, at what time, you got to keep playing. So, yes, the Bills had their struggles against Chicago, and they end up winning the game. What did it end up, 35-13? It was closer than that. But I'm not worried about style points now. You're just saying to yourself, figure a way to go into Cincinnati and win. It's a Monday night game. It is going to be big. Joe Burrow is big in big spots. Josh is going to have to play really well. And it's going to be fun to see because these guys haven't matched up. This hasn't been the one of those players that we've been able to see. So Bengals and Bills back in the day, Bills and Bengals played in an AFC championship game. Many of you maybe wouldn't even remember, certainly weren't even around for, but that was the Boomer Esiason days when the Bills Super Bowl team started to get going. But this is like a playoff game. And whoever wins or loses this game may see the other team again. Whoever wins this game then has a great chance to, if they get to that spot, have that playoff game at home. So I think it's going to be huge. I think the Bengals have been really good. They lost Collins at tackle. That's a big loss for them, but they're a really good team with great weapons. Burrow's been really good, and they were at the Super Bowl last year. So that's a team you're fighting. So a massive game, a big week getting ready for it. We're going to be in Cincinnati, Dan Fates and I, Jenna and our team. We're going to be working on all of our coverage this week during the holidays to get you ready. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a show that's going to be on television on Monday night, 7:30 to 8, leading into the game, which is going to be on ABC. So if you're in Buffalo or Rochester, you can see it on the local Fox affiliate. But also we'll be putting that show up here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel so you can get yourself ready for what's going to be a massive game. Allen and Burrow, Bills and Bengals, maybe the number 1 seed in the AFC on the line. So we'll get a chance to talk about that because number 1 seed, because the Bengals also beat the Chiefs. So there would be a tiebreaker there. So if they can win and keep going, they have a shot then to beat the Bills and end up as the 1 seed. So we'll see how it all plays out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see, and I'm looking forward to it. So AFC East champs, next step is to try to get the 1 seed, and the playoffs are going to be here before you know it. That's going to do it for me. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time on Buffalo Plus.